This is Andi Purewal, Boxing Social in association with Betfred. I'm delighted to be joined by Gill here in Sheffield. Jordan, firstly, how are you?
I'm good, mate. How are you?
I'm good, mate. Good. Obviously, good to hear you doing well yourself. Now, obviously, I know you're not on this card, but how come you've decided to venture up to Sheffield today?
Oh, we're always in Sheffield. I train here Monday to Friday, and I'm only back at home on the weekends.
So I know you did an in-depth interview with my colleague Rob a few weeks ago now, talking about your time away from sport because of your thyroid issue. Just talk to me about the recovery process now. How's everything been going?
Oh, it's been a long, hard process. A lot of changes that my body's been going through, and I don't fully understand it myself. But the disease was an autoimmune disease, so it's hereditary and can be triggered at any time. So there's loads of autoimmune diseases like Crohn's disease. There's like celiac, so my sister's actually celiac because it runs in a family. So yeah, it got triggered, and I was actually diagnosed with subacute painless thyroiditis, and I can't spell it because I can just about say it. And what it meant was there's loads of toxins in my thyroid gland. So my brain sent signals to destroy the gland, so it went attacked it, and it was overactive, and it's dropped underactive. And it's finally leveled out, but it's been a long process. I'm on no medication, and I'm feeling good in the gym. All my levels are correct, and I'm firing all cylinders now.
What's it been like for you trying to manage the fact that you're just coming back from the thyroid issue, to trying to balance how much you can actually work in the gym and what you can do? How have you found the balance?
Yeah, it's been tough mentally and physically because if anybody knows me, they know that I'm a gym rat, and they know that I love to train. I live for boxing because I know I've dedicated my whole life to it. And this time that I've had out the gym, because whilst I was overactive, my heart rate was so high, I was advised not to train because obviously it can have heart failure. When I didn't know about the disease, I was doing 10 rounds of sparring. Every single round my heart rate was going past 220 beats per minute. So they said it's not safe, you could drop dead, and you live and you learn. So I stopped training. I hadn't trained for about 2.5 months, so it's the longest I've not trained for, not stepped foot in a boxing gym since I've been 4 years old. 2.5 months, so it's really hard. And like you say, when you come back after so long off, then you're not going to be in a good position. You're not going to be fit. You're probably going to be heavier. So it's about building up and not taking things too quickly. And I feel like I've got into a good position quite quickly. My weight's pretty good. I've got the best treatment possible. I went private. I didn't wait on the NHS. I got the best nutritionist in the business, Scott Robinson. We found the correct specialist in Milton Keynes straight away. The best man in the country. I've got a great team around me, and we've got the best medical advice possible. So at the same time now I'm all better. I've still got that great team around me, and we're building quickly.
How long do you think it will be until we see you back in the ring then? What's the plan?
Well, I've been told that I'm having an 8-round fight to get back in after this ordeal, and they're going to say either 27th or 28th of March. So end of March I'll be in the ring, and then straight into camp and straight into a big fight in June.
Now let's get onto this card as well, because we're here in Sheffield. What are your thoughts on Brook DeLUCA? Cal hasn't fought for 14 months now. Are you expecting to see the ring rust at least early on?
Do you know what? I don't think so. From what I've seen, I think Kel looks in great shape, and the difference is he's looked in good shape for a long time. It's not like he's crashed it off. I think I've seen him in December, and he looks in really good nick then. So he's been training hard for a while. I think this has probably been a long time coming. He's been sitting around twiddling his thumbs all of 2019, and he really wants this big fight. It looks like he's got a lot of ambition at the moment, and he really wants this fight. And I haven't seen much of DeLUCA, but from what I've heard, he's a game fighter, and it's going to be a hard fight for him. So these are the sort of fights that get Kel up for it. And he is a little bit like Billy Joe Saunders, where if he hasn't got that fear in him, then he doesn't really turn up 100%. And 9 times out of 10, even if he's not 100%, he'll knock everyone out. But I think he knows now that he's got a world title left in him, and he needs to get past this guy. Obviously, if you don't win this comeback fight, then you're not going to get a world title shot. So I expect him to go out and do a really good job on DeLUCA.
There's obviously been a lot of talk about Cal's future. Eddie and Kelly himself said they want to try and manoeuvre towards world titles. Nobody in the 154 division has really put a stamp on the world titles kind of being changed between different fighters. In your opinion, though, would you rather see Cal chasing the 154 titles, or would you like to see that Amir Khan fight that's been talked about for so long?
Do you know what? It's got to the point now I don't really care about the Amir Khan fight. They've been talking for it about 15 years now. I remember years and years ago they was talking about it. So for me, it's lost all interest. And like I've seen Khan recently, and he's not, lit the world up, has he? Being honest. So I don't think at any point I don't think Khan would have beaten Kell, and that's just my opinion. I think Kell punches too hard and he's too accurate not to hit him for 12 rounds, and as soon as he does, it is a good night. So I'm not interested in that fight at all. I think it's dead in the water now, and I'd love to see Kell win a world title because I think he can. I really do.
And Kid Galahad in the final eliminator as well. What do you expect to see from Kid Galahad on Saturday night?
I think he's in the same position where he knows this fight is the last fight and he's going to get another crack at that IBF world title. A lot of people don't realise how strong Kid Galahad is. I expect him to impose his authority from an early rounds, and I expect him to get Marrero out probably middle rounds, maybe 6 or 7 rounds. The reason why is he's a very big featherweight, he's very physically strong. Marrero hasn't got that physical strength. He's strong, he can bang, but there's levels in boxing. I think Galahad's at a high level, and I've seen Marrero before. I think it's against Diaz, and he was winning the fight. He's a nice boxer, very cute, nice and slick, but as soon as he got clocked, he hit the floor, and he could have got up, and he didn't. He quit. So it's hard to say he quit. He didn't fancy it. So I think Galahad wins inside the distance.
And a couple of quick things I just want to get your thoughts on before I do let you go and probably have your own day and enjoy it. Last week, a good friend of yours, Anthony Sims Jr., fell short in his bout against Angulo. What was your thoughts on it?
Do you know what? I've still not seen the fight. I've caught up on the rest of the card. I've watched Danny Roman against the monster Usyk. Yeah, that's it. I was trying to say Uzbek. And I've watched Andrade. But I've not seen Anthony Sims Jr. yet, and it's a real shame because I really thought that obviously one loss doesn't mean anything really. It's how you come back from it, and hopefully he does come back from it. But that was his big chance to step up, his first title fight, and he fell short. And from what I've heard, obviously I can't say too much because I've not seen the fight, but from what I've heard, he had all the ability in the world and had all the moves to pull off the win, but didn't actually throw enough. And I think, to be honest, as much as I like him, there's no excuse for not putting the output in.
And finally, we're about 2 weeks away. I say 2 weeks, about a week and a half or something. Is it? No, 2.5 weeks. That's the one. 2.5 weeks now from Wilder Fury 2. What are your thoughts on it, Jordan? Break it down for me.
I don't know. This is heavyweight boxing. Anything can happen, and I'm looking forward to it. I think it's a great fight. The first fight was a great fight. There was drama. Obviously, Wilder was Fury was up and down off the floor, and it was a thrilling last round. He was outboxing Wilder for the most part, winning pretty clearly almost every round. I think he did enough to win the first fight, despite it being a draw. But anything can happen, can't it? I don't really know. If I had to pick someone, I'd probably pick Wilder. As good as Fury was in the first fight, I hope he wins because obviously he's British and you always back the Brit no matter what. But to me, it seemed like Wilder was unsure, and I think Fury got in his head in the first fight and was calling him about, tricking him, and it seemed like for the first time in his career, Wilder was doubting whether he had the power to hurt the Gypsy King because he's like all elusive and give it the big one like he does. And eventually, obviously, Wilder got to him and hurt him and didn't finish him. But so maybe I think Wilder might start with a bit more urgency this time. I think he might let his hands go a little bit more because he knows if he lands, the guy's going down. And I expect when he goes down, I fully expect Tyson Fury to get up, but I think maybe Wilder should pounce on him a bit quicker this time. But like I said, who knows?
Well, Jordan, who knows indeed, and we will leave it there. I appreciate your time as always. I'll catch up with you soon. Thank you for speaking to Boxing Social.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.